involvement in the Irish Festival this year is a culmination of my involvement over the last 5 years or so. I've run film events, theatre events, musical events, and this year I'm doing a little bit of all of them. The first one is a play. It's a new play on the subject of James Joyce and his relationship with his lifelong partner, Nora Barnacle. And it's set in Dublin and Trieste in the autumn of 1909 when Joyce and Nora were apart and they had a bit of a crisis in their relationship, and the letters were darting back and forth between these two cities. I've got a public lecture. Professor Keith Hopper from Oxford is coming up to do a public lecture on the Irish aeronautical engineer J.W. Dunn, who was a very wacky, far-out character from the 20th century, and who had all sorts of fantastic ideas about time travel and so on. The third event is a musical performance at the Blue Coat Arts Centre. Myself and my colleague will be performing excerpts from our album based on James Joyce's chamber music, which was the first book he published as a very young man in 1907, a book of poems. The fourth event is at Liverpool Central Library, and it's an event called Shelf Lives, and it's based on the rare holdings of the library itself. Got 3 academics coming along. They've chosen books from about the kind of late 19th, early 20th century period, books that are very rare and very difficult to acquire now. And they're going to be talking about these books, not in a kind of academic or literary sense so much, but more about the kind of availability of the texts and what they meant in the time and where they've been since. And the final event from this kind of basket of events is the premiere of a film based on the work of Flann O'Brien. It's a film called The Brother, which itself is based on a very successful stage play that's been running for about 4 years now in various locations around Europe. The first event is Shelf Lives, and that's at Liverpool Central Library on Friday the 16th of October, and that's running between 3 o'clock and 4:30. The second event is the play Nora and Jim, and that's on Saturday the 17th of October, and that's in the Joe H. Macon Drama Centre on Pilgrim Street in Liverpool. The third event is the James Joyce Chamber Music event, and that's at the Blue Coat Arts Centre on Tuesday the 20th of October, and that's running between 7:30 and 9 o'clock. The fourth event is the public lecture, and that's on Monday the 19th of October, and that's at 5:30 in the John Foster building, the LJMU John Foster building on Mount Pleasant. And the final event is the premiere of the film of The Brother, and that's in Fredericks on Hope Street beside the Philharmonic pub, and that's on Sunday the 25th of October. I think I'm really looking forward to the play of Nora and Jim. It's a kind of fascinating story. Joyce is obviously a kind of hugely dominant figure from 20th century literature, but a lot less is known about his lifelong partner, Nora Barnacle, a woman with whom he was obsessed in all sorts of ways. So this story is really trying to give her back a voice in some respects, and it takes this kind of moment of crisis from their relationship and uses it as a lens to think about all his work, to think about Irish history in the 20th century. I'm involved with these 5 events really, and that's been quite exhausting, trying to organise those, trying to find venues, trying to book the acts themselves, the people themselves, trying to do publicity with the Liverpool Irish Festval, with the venues, with John Moores University. So that's been a real challenge. There's some fantastic music events running this year, and some good films as well. Well, I've always been a kind of a bit of an actor who has a real job, and then over the last couple of years, it's been the balance between those two has been transmogrifying a little bit, shall we say. The only acting I'm doing this year is in the film version of The Brother, which was shot in Liverpool earlier in the year. I play the role of a kind of slightly overexcited, mildly drunk Irishman from the 1950s, so it wasn't that difficult to get into character, but it was still a lot of fun. I think people will enjoy it. It's a good laugh, but also with kind of slightly dark overtones of the kind that you always find in the work of Flann O'Brien.